And good evening and welcome to the City Council meeting for the City of Lenore for Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. We welcome you here this evening. We are again operating with part of the council and some of our staff here with us at the council chambers and some that are on the Zoom meeting with us. Before we get started, let's do a roll call of those who are in attendance with us tonight. Here in the room, we have Councilmember Willis, Councilmember Perdue, myself, the mayor, Councilmember Stevens, and Councilmember Perkins are here. City Manager Hildebrand and our Communications Director Joshua Harris are here with us this evening. And we welcome Kara from the News Topic with us also. Thank you for being here. And the illustrious Rick Oxford just walked in the room from the Western Piedmont.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you.
Since Rick's here.
Rick's here. Okay, so I would like to have a roll call of those that are joining us on the Zoom virtual. Our council members first, please, if you will. Councilmember Thomas is here.
She's here.
Present.
Okay. Councilmember Beal, you're here. And Councilmember Presswood?
Here.
Okay. All three of our council members are here. If you want to do the department heads, go ahead. We'll do our department heads, if you would. Just let us know who's here so we can record that, please. Any order you'd like.
I am here.
Phelps is in the parking lot.
Please state your name.
Please say your name so we can record it.
Radford's here.
Okay.
Kaylin.
Jared Ross, Public Works.
Kaylin's here. Jared's here. Thank you.
Donna Bain.
Chief here.
Donna's here. Thank you. Chief Hare's here.
Jenny Wheelock, Planning.
Thank you, Jenny.
Kenny Story, Recreation.
Thanks, Kenny.
TJ.
Our city attorney, TJ.
Radford Thomas, Utilities. Yeah, I'm here.
TJ's here. What about Chief Phelps?
I'm here.
Chief Phelps is here. Okay. Anyone else we didn't get? Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for being with us on the virtual Zoom world that we're in right now. We appreciate that very much. As we go to our time of prayer, our moment of silence, and our pledge of allegiance, please keep in mind those who continue to fight for us during this pandemic time. We're going through our frontline workers, doctors, nurses, our hospital administrators, our EMS, our testing workers who are doing the test out there, our police and fire and sheriff's office, and our nonprofits, and so many more who are all every day trying to help take care of us and continue this struggling time that we're going through. We appreciate all that you do and what you're doing. Would like to say a special thanks before we go to this time to our fire department. I know you had 2 industry fires that you battled over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. We appreciate your hard work on that. And I know you saved a lot of property, and so we don't think we had anyone hurt in those processes, and we are certainly proud of that. And thank you for your work. And I know police, you had to work a very serious accident at 321 in Green Haven, and there was a loss of life there. And I know that it's difficult to work those kind of accidents, and I know you have so many other things that you are working on, but thank you for both police and fire and your hard work there, and others that were involved in those things. So keep those things in mind as we go to our time of moment of silence and pledge. Please rise for that. Thank you. We salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As we go now would like to mention a couple of things that have been going on. We'd like to congratulate our finance department and Donna Bean and all of our staff for another year of the Certificate of Excellence for Financial Reporting. We appreciate your hard work on that, and thank you. I don't know how many years in a row.
29.
It's 29 years in a row. That's a great record. So thank you for that and your hard work on that, Donna, and all your staff for putting that together, and Scott, of course, our city manager. We appreciate all your work on that. Would like to say a special birthday wish, and you may have seen it in the paper, to Sylvia Green. Sylvia turned 85 years old this past week and celebrated a drive-by salute birthday at her home there on Finley Avenue, and a nice crowd turned out for that. And henceforth we'll call her Queen Green. We give her a name of that, but it was an honor. I got to be a part of that, and I enjoyed. Sylvia has been a great part of our city, and so many things that she's worked on. We have her art center up at the Martin Luther King Center we dedicated several years ago to her, but she's just a delight to work with in our community, and we thank her and wish her the well for 85 years. And lastly, a special group of ladies in our community that they're part of the Service League, Java Jewels, the Neighborhood Friends they call it, for the last few weeks have done cookies and brownies and so many things for all of our community involvement, the hospital, city hall, police and fire, and so many other things that they have taken to. And now they are doing cards to all of our nurse care facilities and sending out cards to all of those people, who just aren't getting a lot of things right now. They don't get to be out, and there's probably no visitors. They're able to go in. So we hope they hope these cards bring them a special feeling that they've enjoyed doing. And I know they're sending them to all of the care facilities in our region. So our hats off to them and thank them for what they're doing for that. So a lot of good things happening in our community, a lot of feel-good things going on right now. So we appreciate all of that. So we'll move on then to our meeting as scheduled. The first is a matter scheduled for public hearing this evening. This is a hearing we'll hear to consider a rezoning request for a vacant lot located at the end of Melview Place, North Carolina, PIN number 273-869-3845, to change the zoning from I-1 light industrial to RR rural residential in order for the applicant to build a single-family residence. The recommendation from staff is approval based on the following consistency statement. The proposed zoning map amendment is consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan because it facilitates low-density residential construction in the ETJ, consistent with the policy concepts found in the plan. The proposed amendment is reasonable and in the public interest because it will preserve the rural character of the ETJ and prevent future intense uses in a low-density area. And the planning board and our city staff have recommended approval on that. So I will open the public hearing. If there's any comments from anyone that's on the Zoom list with us, and our planning director, Jenny Wheelock, if you would please, we'd like to hear from you at this time.
Sure. All right. You all should have gotten the staff report in your packet. I do believe the applicant is calling in remotely so she can answer any questions that you guys have. But basically, this came up during a subdivision. She was doing a family subdivision to plat off a piece of property for a house, and we realized it was zoned industrial. This land backs up to Lenore Industrial Park. I believe that all of that before it was developed was all owned by her family, and so this is just like a little remnant piece that is outside of the city. They don't intend on ever connecting it to that industrial park. Probably should have been zoned rural residential all along, so it's kind of a map cleanup. You've got the consistency statement as part of the recommended action, and I can answer any questions.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Jenny at this time concerning this?
Applicant's on the meeting too.
What's that?
Applicant is on the meeting.
Okay.
Just for information for the listening audience, I think I would say what ETJ is, why we're even considering this.
This ETJ is the extraterritorial jurisdiction that is a 1 mile radius outside of the city limits of Lenore, which is part of what we, I guess, take care of, is the way, I guess we look at it, is that,
And have influence over it.
yeah, we have influence over that part of it. Jenny, go ahead.
We regulate zoning of that area because it's I believe the intent is that it's the area that we may want to annex in the future, and it helps us preserve that area's low density so that we don't have, an area that the county zones a certain way right next to us with a lot of houses, and then they petition for annexation, and we are needing to try to figure out how to serve them with sewer. It started off as a mile. It's not a mile anymore because those properties have been annexed in and we haven't expanded, the ETJ. But, yep, extraterritorial jurisdiction, and this applicant doesn't have any intentions on annexing this property.
Okay.
I
Thank
just
you.
think that's good information.
It is, and thank you for pointing that out, Councilmember Stevens, on that. So, the applicant, as you said, was on the line. Would, if they would like to, please, if you have anything to address the council with, that would be fine at this time. We are in the public hearing. Hearing nothing from that, that's fine. So, if anything else to come,
They're here.
okay. Do what?
I want to ask again about that.
Okay, if you would, if the applicant is on the line with us, if there's anything you would like to state or talk to us about, we would like to hear at this time, please.
Alyssa, is that her name?
Alyssa?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, please go ahead. If there's anything you'd like to tell us, or we can open it up for any questions the council might have, but if you'd like to go ahead and say anything you would like, we'd appreciate that.
I don't have anything to add. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay. Council, anyone? Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate that you are considering this, doing this rezoning. So and I wish you the best with it if everything works out. So hope it goes well.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. If nothing else to come comments for us, I will close the public hearing part and turn it over to council for any, that's right, we can't vote on it tonight because all the council is not present. We will have to, do we keep the public hearing open or we close the public hearing?
Close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing, okay. And then we will,
Defer decision till 1 week from.
we'll
at 8:30.
change it and have this decision made 1 week from today in our committee of the whole meeting next Tuesday morning at 8:30. So that will, and all the council will be present at that time. So,
Well, they don't have to be.
Mr. Mayor?
yes, sir.
Hey, this is TJ Rohr. I just wanted to mention, the public may want to know why we can't take action for a week. Do you mind if I explain that real quick?
Please do. Thank you, and I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead.
The legislature in Raleigh passed, let's see, the name of the bill is the Act to Provide Aid to North Carolinians in Response to the Coronavirus Disease 2019. There was some question, although most folks were pretty confident, there was some question as to whether city councils and county governments could have remote meetings at all. So they passed a bill that said you can. But one of the requirements, they said, is there's a section on public hearings. And it says a public body may conduct any public hearing required or authorized by law during a remote meeting and take action thereon, which so far sounds good, provided the public body allows for written comments on the subject of the public hearing to be submitted between publication of any required notice and 24 hours after the public hearing. So there's 24 hours for the public if they want to submit any written comments they may have, and then if any are submitted, the council would take that up for consideration next week when you table this to the committee of the whole meeting.
Okay. Question?
It's 24 hours after we've closed the public comment?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just like another, it's like a buffer zone.
Yeah,
Right. So, yes, it is. Is that right?
right.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it says written comments on the subject of the public hearing to be submitted between publication of any required notice, so that's whenever there was notice published about this public hearing happening,
Yeah.
and 24 hours after the public hearing.
Okay.
So if you close the public hearing tonight, well, let's see. Yeah, okay. So people would have 24 hours from when you close the public hearing now to make written comments. If you table it to committee of the whole, obviously that'll be a week later. And then any written comments that have been submitted, if any, you folks would need to take a look at that before you voted next Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
That's due to the fact we have folks participating.
We did when we noticed this, what we do mailed notice and published notice. We put in the mailed notice that written comments could be submitted. We haven't received any written comments as of tonight. So I guess we've got 24 more hours that we would take those written comments. If someone wants to submit written comments, they probably should submit them to City Hall, the Dropbox at City Hall,
They can do
or my email.
They can do electronically too, but it's because we have folks participating remotely. It's not required. If we had no one
Right.
participating remotely, we could vote tonight.
It's only because of the
It's
remote
only
meeting.
because we have folks
Okay.
participating remotely. So
It's because of the remote participation into the meeting, but they can do either drop it off at City Hall through the Dropbox in the front, or it's submitted electronically to your email would be fine, Jenny.
if you want to, probably a motion to table. Mr.
Yeah, do we want to
You
say
want
what
me
that
to-
email address is?
State that for the record.
Right.
What's that? Say
Sorry, I
that.
didn't hear that.
It's
We should say what the appropriate email address is, so if the public hears it and wants to submit it, they know where to send it to.
Okay.
Okay, it's J Wheelock, WHEELOCK @lenore-nc.gov. And my email is also on the homepage for the planning department on the city's website.
Okay. Thank you for that.
and you may want a motion to table.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion, we table the rezoning efforts till the committee of the whole meeting.
Okay, we're out of the, we did close the public hearing. Have a motion from Councilmember Willis that we table the rezoning request as presented tonight in this until the committee of the whole meeting next Tuesday at 8:30, whatever the date of that is,
26.
26th of May. Okay, any other discussion on that? We have the motion before us. If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay.
Need a roll call those.
Yeah, roll call on the
That's the name.
on the call in.
Chris?
Chrissy?
Mayor Pro Tem, yes. Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
President, aye.
Thank you. John?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that is unanimous then. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We will take this up, resume this next Tuesday. Thank you. All right, we'll move on our agenda then to consent agenda items tonight, consisting of minutes of the City Council meeting of Monday, May the 4th, 2020, as submitted. And item B is a closeout. This is for the 2017 PARTIF grant. That's the Capital Project Budget Ordinance for the approval of the 2017 closeout ordinance in the amount of $426,817.93 to close out the 2017 Parks and Recreation Trust Fund grant. That's PARTIF for the Optimus/Mulberry Park project. This project was under budget, $382.07. How about that?
Wow, good job.
That's great.
Give Kenny some.
Way to go, Kenny, you did well.
Yeah.
All right, so any discussion on the consent agenda items and/or motion, please?
Make a motion to accept the agenda items A and B.
Okay, a motion from Councilmember Stevens to accept the consent agenda items A and B as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Roll call, please, from the council members. Aye, Mayor Pro Tem Thomas. Aye from Councilmember Presswood. And aye from Councilmember Beal. Correct? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, that stands unanimous. All right, next will be requests and petitions of any citizens, and we have no one with us tonight. We have Kara from the News Topic. Kara, you have any requests from any? Thank you. All right, we'll move on then to reports of boards and our commissions. Tonight, we have the illustrious Rick Oxford, our plant administrator from the Western Piedmont Council of Governments, will hold the second of two public meetings to receive public comments regarding the proposed FY 2020 action plan of the City of Lenore and the FY 2020-2024 Uniform Home Consortium as part of the 5-year consolidated plan. This plan is required by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, outlines the goals and actions plans of the City of Lenore and the Uniform Home Consortium, and its use of the Community Development Block Grant, that's CBDG, and the Home Funds for the fiscal year 2020, beginning July 1st of 2020 and ending June 31st of 2021. And the City of Lenore serves as the lead entity for the Uniform Consortium. Rick, glad to have you with us this evening.
Glad to be here. Well, I was talking to the people at HUD, and they were talking about there's all these rules and changes and stuff happening, and they described it that they're building the plane while flying the plane. So I'm going to try to keep the plane going tonight, okay? So it looks like the first thing we're doing is a public comment to the Consolidated Plan and Action Plan. When I discuss it with you, I talk about the CDBG and I talk about the home. But the way HUD looks at it, it's just one big consolidated plan, one big action plan. So with that, let me go straight to
That might reach all the way over there.
Everybody hearing everything okay?
TJ in the chat said he could barely hear him, but I'm just moving the phone closer to Rick.
okay.
There's a lot
This
of
doesn't work.
Well, that
That works, but this is the.
This-
this
That's
is more so
better.
everybody online can.
Okay,
Mr. Rohr, you hearing better?
I can talk louder.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's better.
That better, okay. Let me see where I want to go first. First, let me, well, I'm not sure my order is going to follow exactly what's in the agenda, but I'll try. So I'll talk about the Unifor Consortium, the 2020 Consolidated Plan, and the first year action plan, which is for FY 2020. City will be budgeted or funded for the Unifor Consortium Home Program $1,145,874. We're anticipating $350,000 in program income. A total of $1,495,874. That'll be our resources. And with that, we propose to undertake a 4-county down payment assistance program and budget $425,000 for the regional down payment assistance program, which has been modified or in the process of, it's been being modified since the first of the year at the advice and recommendation of HUD. We had the $5,000 program, down payment assistance sort of across the board, no matter who came to us. They didn't like that. They wanted us to modify it, so we've adjusted to up to 20% of the purchase price. So we've tightened who qualifies according to their debt to income ratios and their credit scores, and So we've sort of tightened that to make sure they are more successful. They will be getting more money. We will be doing less, but our numbers have sort of been coming down a little bit with the way the housing market is. You know, there's not that many houses on the market within that price category that we can assist. Basically, we can assist people in purchasing houses up to, I think it's $157 is the maximum purchase price. And they have to be within or below 80% of the area median income. So it's a sort of a small target, you know?
So basically, they've got to be below $24,000.
Per family size. I think one person is right close to 30,000.
Okay.
And as more people in the household, two-person household, it goes up to like maybe 34,000. So, and if they got kids, it's more, okay? And those income limits are set by HUD, and they adjust annually. But our program's been very successful. We've done over 3,000 units since the program started, but we're thinking we're going to do more like 40 or 50 a year now.
As opposed to what in previous years?
Well, in our highest year, I think we did about 160.
Okay.
But that was, I mean, it was hopping then, you know? And, but it's gradually come down from that. I think this, even with that, the 5,000, we did about 70. So, and money was sort of piling up there, and you know we got to keep adjusting where the money goes or whatever. So, yeah, you know, if we see that we don't have enough money, we'll come back and ask for an amendment. So, okay?
I got a question, Rick, just one.
Sure.
You said that the max, or maybe I misunderstood, it's $157,000 for a home, and then that you would, those people that would be below $30,000, if a person is making $25,000 or $30,000, can they afford a payment for a $157,000 home?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably
That's the max.
not.
That's the max, though.
That's the max.
So you could buy a less.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if someone comes to me wanting to buy they want a $170,000 house, I cannot assist them.
Okay.
But if they wanted to buy a $75,000 house,
I could.
Yeah,
could do it.
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's you know, you have to have income enough to be able to
Yeah.
support the house payment, you know?
But you can't have too much.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like me.
Got a little tricky there.
You know, I can only afford what I can afford, you know? And I can't afford that.
so you wouldn't qualify.
I wouldn't qualify either.
How much your house cost?
Okay, so for, now,
No
we're
answer
talking about FY 2020 home funds, so it's the new money that we'll be getting. Next budget item would be Chodo set aside $171,000. This would be for eligible Chodos. We do not know who that will be, it's just but that's where they will go. Okay. And we're budgeting $384,300 for multifamily housing developers doing multifamily housing apartments. We've got some here in the city. Some of this money will be used to, we've got some money already budgeted to fund those. This will be some more. And then next year will be some more for houses that are, or apartment units that are either on the books or we're thinking coming down the pipeline.
This is the uniform.
Yes, for the uniform.
Right.
But we do have 2 projects in Lenore that have not been built or given any money. $307,000. That's like what we did in Hickory last year. This will, excuse me, but I have to flip around a little bit. This will be for, it'll be through Burke Development partnering with Open Hearts Place, which their intent is to construct 4 single-family rental units. And so it won't be rental assistance. They're going to use the money for constructing those rental units. And then Open Hearts Place will help those people with job skills, credit rebuilding, life skills, and such.
Open Heart Place is like a nonprofit.
It'll be a nonprofit,
Okay.
Open
So-
Heart.
So
Place.
last year the monies went to Hickory. This year they're going to Burke. So I hope the idea is maybe to share the love within the uniform.
Yep. We, I don't think we had a game plan for Lenore. This is something that we could partner with a nonprofit.
Most of the money here has gone to Habitat in the past.
That's right. I remember
Because they
that.
built most
And
houses.
Hickory just, I think they chose to design the houses and then they put it out to bid, and this is a different type plan. So Lenore, you can look at the way Hickory did it and Morganton did it and see how you want it to do it.
Okay.
Okay? And tell me if I'm going too slow.
You good?
Okay, program income. Because we get program income, that's more money coming in, takes more effort to spend it and do the things we have to do.
Would
with
that
it.
be like repayment of the loans?
Repayment of loans from multifamily. When we loan to, the multifamily developers, we're getting money back in. And as people sell their house, or, if they sell their house or refinance and they choose to pay us off, then that's money coming back in. So we're allowed to budget 10%. So that's what that is. And then there's program income. The city, typically the home program, can only use 10% for administration, whereas in CDBG, you can use 20%. City's going to get some additional CDBG funds, COVID funds, but they don't get no more CDBG admin funds. But on the home side, HUD says you can go up to, from 10%, for 2019 and 2020, you can go up to 25% admin. What we've done is put in a budget of 15%. So we've raised the admin 5%. Okay, for 19 and 20. That's the home program. Okay, I'll keep going. The 2020, FY 2020 action plan.
It's hot in there. It is hot in here.
Sorry, I have to look in the right place here.
Lot to keep up with.
Okay. I got it. I'm getting it. 2020, CDBG, the city will receive $146,288. CDBG funds. With that, the city's proposing to use $117,000 for public facilities improvements at the old Lenore High School.
Right.
20% budget for admin, $29,257. Okay? That's 2020 CDBG. Okay? How am I doing? Okay, now I'm going to back up in time, okay? That's where I get confused.
Back up before March.
Okay, so let's talk about we want to amend a citizen participation plan. Had the recommendation of HUD, okay? And that citizen participation plan says that we can accept this COVID money in CDBG, and we can have amendments, and all we have to do is allow for 5-day comment period. So we ran an ad, and so from tonight, there will be an additional 5 days of comment period that we will take any comments in regards to any of these plans, okay? So, but other than that, the citizen participation plan didn't change any, and you have that in front of you. So there's an amendment to the 2019 home program. Okay, and with it, we had anticipated $350,000 in program income, but there's $420,000 more. So we had an original budget of $1.4 million, and we wound up with a budget of $1.8 million. So with that, we're proposing that down payment assistance stay the same. We have a project we're doing with the Habitat in Hickory where they're asking us for loan funds. So we had an original budget of $165,300. We'd like to increase that by $240,700 for a total of $407,000. And what they'll be doing there is building new homes. We'll be reducing the multifamily housing line item of $514,000 by $27,300. And this was 19 budget, and we'll be okay with the 2020, okay? That was just to make the numbers work. Because there's an additional, because the total anticipated program income is now $770,000, we have a program income admin line item of $70,500. And general program administration, as I told you, we could go back to FY19 and increase the budget by 5%, and we did, and that makes the budget, instead of 110,200, it'll make it 165,300. And this is basically being, a lot of it's being done because of the COVID-19 and having to adjust, and because of no CDBG increase in admin. We still have to do all the same things that we ordinarily do with the COVID-19 money and with the program income money. And we could have requested 25%, but we only went to 15%. That's the 19. That's the Home 19 amendment.
Rick, while you're looking through that, remind me again what the program income can be used for?
It can be used for anything. The program income can be used for down payment assistance, multifamily, Chodo. So it's just another resource.
Okay.
So it doesn't limit us on where it can go.
But it increases all of those opportunities
Yes, sure.
that you just named?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so with the 2019, we're amending it at the request of HUD, okay? Because they are funding the city an additional $86,056 in what they call coronavirus or CDBG-CV funds, okay? And they wanted it put in 19 rather than 20, so we're putting it in 19. So that's going to increase our budget. It's the only thing it's doing is increasing the budget by $86,056. And we're not changing anything from the original budget other than creating an additional line item, which would be public services. So all of that $86,000 will be used for public services through funding a nonprofit.
Utility, we're looking at using it for utility debt. Folks that have trouble paying a water bill or sewer bill in the community, working with a nonprofit locally to go back and help them with that during this COVID-19. So
Now, when you say 19, that ends June 30th, 2000?
it's a 3-month window, I think they allowed us to go back and look at. March, I don't know what the date, March 1st, March, April, May. Maybe they may extend it, but right now I think it's a 3-month window to help folks that have back.
Yeah.
So we're looking at help folks.
That don't mean we have to have it all spent by.
Yeah.
But that's
July.
the
We
fiscal
don't have
year
to-
ending June 30th, 2020?
Talked about that.
It goes into that budget, but it
Okay.
doesn't mean we
Talk
have
to you
to
about
that.
have
Right,
it spent
the
by
window goes
Okay.
July or
Right.
June 30.
Okay.
So this is that $86,000.
Yes. Yeah, to help folks, like I said, get back on their feet.
And we don't know if there'll be more. I may be back for an amendment to the 2020
Yeah,
budget.
please.
So, any questions about anything?
Got one.
Sure.
Well, this is a loaded one.
All
One's
right.
coming after that.
Loaded.
Monies for multifamily housing.
Yeah.
Are those funds to assist us in our housing shortage that we are existing here in Illinois? And how will that money be distributed? Will that be according to your salary or money intake or what?
The multifamily housing.
Yes.
Okay, what that line item does is basically we fund or we have multifamily housing developers that come to me and they are seeking low-income housing tax credit project loans from the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency. And it's a competitive process, and they design a project like Viridian. And they design it, and they get all their funding together, and they will come to me and they'll ask for a letter of commitment to the project. And if, there might be 100 applicants across the state. And if it's funded by the Housing Finance Agency, then that's where they get the bulk of their, they get those low-income housing tax credits.
Yeah.
And that sort of drives the project. And if it's funded, then our commitment stands. We say, yeah, we'll commit our money to it. And our money goes into the project at the end. And then that
The
money
money's going
comes
to the
back.
Developers Act, it's not going to people.
Yeah, that money, it doesn't go to people. It just goes to the
That's where I was
developers.
getting to, thank
Yeah, I
you.
thought
Yeah.
that's, it's going to the developers.
Yeah,
pocket.
okay.
And the money will come back to
Yeah.
us eventually, but it creates very nice housing opportunities for low to moderate income people. Like Viridian, and we've done there's several in
Arbor Glen.
That's a
Glen.
senior.
Yeah,
you
okay.
know.
Facility.
Hudson's got 2 projects.
Grant's got one.
And it's got one,
Yeah,
right?
so it's just a sort of I guess what they get out of our commitment. It's a drop in the bucket, on a $10 million project, but they get credit for local commitment,
Yeah.
and we're the local commitment to the project. And so,
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
does that answer?
Yes, sir.
the question? Okay.
Rick, is that available to like nursing care facilities?
I don't think so. Those developers that work with the Housing Finance Agency, they're meeting the goals that the home program, has. And, if we get out of that, they're not gonna know what's required. They commit to so many units to be what they call home eligible, and they're gonna keep them that way for, a certain period of time.
Okay.
Yep. So,
Any other questions?
You have 6 items tonight. Can you consider?
That's what I was
three-
getting ready to
Three of
get.
those you have to defer to next
To next
next
Tuesday.
Thursday.
3 of them,
Next Tuesday.
1, 3, and 4, we could vote on tonight.
Correct.
And 2, 5, and 6, we will have to defer to the committee of the whole meeting of next Tuesday for the same reasons that City Attorney Rohr gave us earlier, involved in that. So,
which ones can you approve tonight?
Can you do
3,
one?
and 4.
so we could do 1, 3, and 4 according to what we have here.
Yeah, the plan is just the plan. It's not
Yeah.
a public hearing on that.
Yeah, the new
3 and
public hearing.
4 is for current year CDBG and home funds. The other one's for next year. So the next year item, since it's a public hearing tonight, you have to defer
Okay.
those.
Okay.
Okay.
All right? No other questions? Well, let's go to the items for council action. Are you, I didn't cut you off, did I?
No.
Okay.
Do,
You could probably do them all together, I would think.
yeah, because I'll make a motion. I wrote them down.
Do I need to
make-
read these out, or we just?
He just did, didn't he?
No.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure that we,
Just give a quick word. First
Just
one-
tell me what numbers we're approving, and I'll put a check mark by it.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve item number 1, which is the citizen participation plan
right, for CDBG.
for CDBG.
Yeah.
The item number 3, which is the capital project budget ordinance for the amendment for the home program.
That's for 2019.
For the 19 budget amendment. And then item 4 is the CDBG 2019 amendment. So make it, do I need to do one motion altogether, or do you want me to stop there?
Well, you could,
You can do them all.
I can do them all? No, like all 6?
We'll do 1, 3, and 4 approved, then other.
we got to, yeah, we got to approve those
That's
first.
my motion.
So we have a motion to approve, for the approval of items 1, 3, and 4 as listed. The Citizen Participation Plan, Capital Budget Project Ordinance for 2019, and the Capital Project Budget Ordinance amended 2019 for Community Development Block Grant funding. That's 1, 3, and 4. Any other questions on those? We have a motion from Councilmember Willis for approval of these 3. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Everybody got 3 on that, okay. All opposed? Thank you. That carries unanimously for those 3. Now we have items 2, 5, and 6, which we'll have to, I guess, do a tabling till the Committee of the Whole meeting next Tuesday, the 26th, for those. And that is the FY 2020 Action Plan, FY 2020 to 24 Unifor Consortium Home Plan. It's 2. 5 is Capital Project Budget Ordinance for 2020 Unifor Consortium Home Program. Item 6 is the Capital Project Budget Ordinance for 2020 Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG funding. That'd be 20. The other 2 we approved were for 19. So that would be, we need a motion to table those until the Committee of the Whole meeting of next Tuesday, the 26th.
So move.
Have a motion from Councilmember Perkins that we table those until that meeting of the 26th of May. No other discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All 3 on there, thank you. All opposed, thank you. That is approved unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. Do I need to come back on the 26th?
On the 26th,
Call in.
I can? Okay.
yeah.
All right, good. I'm getting used to those. All right, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Appreciate the report. All right, we're through with that. We'll move on now to the report and recommendations of the city manager, Mr. Hildebrand.
Mr. Mayor, council, tonight you have some items, as you mentioned, the update on the budget work session scheduled for Thursday, May 21st, 6 p.m., 3rd floor, City Hall. City offices will be closed on Monday, May 25th, in observance of Memorial Day holiday. The Committee of the Whole meeting, which we discussed several times tonight already, will be held on Tuesday, May 26th, 8:30 a.m., 3rd floor, City Hall. This meeting may also be considered an additional budget work session if so needed. The Foothills Regional Airport Authority has canceled their meeting for Wednesday, May 27th. And I would note that the Lenore Police Advisory Board will meet on May 28th at 6 o'clock, and that'll be a Zoom meeting for them. So I just wanted to pass that along. And with that, I guess I'll get up here and try to give you a quick, I'll try to be maybe a little quicker than Rick. I'm gonna do the
Oh, come on.
budget presentation.
Seasons change quicker than Rick.
Should just be able to hit the space bar or next to
Okay. Well, thank you. It's my pleasure tonight to give you the recommended 2021 budget. I've been doing this for 31 years, and this is probably the most challenging budget we've had to work on just because of the fact of the uncertainties we have currently with the COVID-19, but trying to figure out the revenue projections and also trying to balance that with what our service demands may be in the future, because that could change. We know that.
And we can hear you, and can we mute everybody else?
Yeah, can you, I think,
Everyone, would
Jonathan, could you mute yours, please?
Yeah, mute yourself, stifle yourself.
You are muted.
But I think I needed that too.
Okay, good.
The
Thank you.
microphone. So I
That's
gotta,
probably, that'll work then.
let me see, I gotta unmute the microphone. They can't hear me, can they?
Yeah,
Okay,
They'll hear that.
okay.
Yeah, they should be.
ooh, where is that?
But anyway, the budget was based on the priorities you set out at our February planning retreat and also our March budget retreat.
Can't hear? Can you guys, nobody can hear?
Thumbs up?
No, thumbs down.
That's muted over there, that's why.
All right, we're working on it.
You are unmuted.
There, that. Can you hear now? Okay, good.
Again, I may be longer than Rick.
You gotta
But
keep playing this
the
game.
budget was based on the priorities you set in February and also in March. But the 6 priorities you set as your top priorities for the 2020 budget were employee compensation, housing, community beautification, healthy infrastructure, economic development, and public engagement. So that's kind of the basis we started at before the COVID-19 hit. Right now, the general fund's projected or proposed to be $17,830,516. The budget's balanced, addressing those goals with no tax increase, so that maintains that at 58 cents, and rescue readiness at 0.085 per 100, no change. So tax rates remain the same, and all of our fees remain unchanged. So everything's at current levels. Here's a chart showing that the majority of our expenses go to police, fire, public works, which you would anticipate with that, and then recreation, planning, finance, admin, legislative. The Water Wastewater Fund total budget projected is $8,581,300. That's maintaining current rates, no changes in any fees there as well. So hold the line on all those costs. And here's a diagram showing the expenses there, and this, the water plant, the distribution system, wastewater collection, Lower Creek, pre-treatment, gunpowder, utility maintenance, and admin engineering there. The highlights of the budget, we think the numbers are realistic revenue projections. We've tried to be conservative where we could. We tried to address your number one priority. The budget does include a 3% cost of living. However, for January 1st, but we'll go back and hold that money in reserve to see what the economy does. It also funds a 1.2% increase in the required local government retirement system contribution. Also, we experienced a 6% increase in premiums for health care coverage this year, maintaining the current plan levels. However, through some negotiations and action you took at one of our planning meetings, we've basically reduced it to 4% by doing something with the broker. So, but that's covered in the budget. Our property liability insurance went up a little bit, and workers' comp went down a little bit. So they're relatively flat in the budget, and that's covered. Another priority you had was street resurfacing. We've increased that to $390,000, but again, that's subject to PAL bill funding with the state, and we hear rumblings that may be cut, and we'll just have to go back and keep an eye on that. It also includes an additional $100,000 for roads and bridges. Currently, we budget $100,000 a year. This will be $200,000. That's included in the budget.
Scott, if POW bill goes away, what would be the reduction?
PAL bill's about $550,000. I don't think it's going to go totally away. They're saying it could be a 25% or up. It depends on what happens with the state and if any of the federal money can be utilized to go back and fill gaps. And so we don't know that yet, but we're prepared.
I think there's a lot of lobbying going on to try to stop it.
As Rick mentioned previously, the proposed budget includes money for downtown through the CDBG program to help continue funding the improvements at the high school auditorium, the gym, and Matt Cook Stadium. And we own that facility. It's been sitting there underutilized for many, many years. And so we're going to put some money in that to hopefully go back and get that facility back into operation so we can use it as a city, but also for events and other things in the community. Fiduciary responsibility. The budget does appropriate $400,000 of fund balance. But we still maintain, even using $400,000, 48% fund balance, so we're still double the city's goal. And I think the previous years we've been working hard to go back and get that number up. It's coming in handy today and when we're experiencing these things.
That's good management.
So, sidewalks, greenways, trails, we increased funding by $50,000 to $125,000. Code enforcement, we increased that budget 49%, or $18,710. To support that, we're putting $34,710 toward building demolition, $20,000 toward nuisance removal, and $2,000 foreclosure expenses. So we basically doubled the budget, and I know that was a priority at the retreat you talked about. We need to go back, continue to go back and enforce a nuisance. Technology, we continue our IT upgrades, and we also go back and continue to fund the advanced metering infrastructure for the water meters. Environmental, we fund year two, the COG taking over our management of the stormwater program. This last year, we transitioned to them, and this funds the second year of that. It also fully implements the automated garbage collection funding for that. We fund EPA brownfield and ARC grants again, and that's to do environmental assessments on the brownfields program. Still got some to do there, kind of slowing down with the current economic situation, but still that. And then the ARC grant money, as you know, we're using for Virginia, College Street, the property we own there, to get that debris cleaned up and get it in shape that we can go back and put that property back into use. We also continue to fund the biosolids project, the wastewater plant, and also the upcoming Smith Crossroads sewer project. And I think also the planning stages we've talked about, also the Finley Avenue water pressure, we kicked that off this year to go back and get that moving. Also funds all our debt obligations. Some of the highlights of the general fund capital we're looking to purchase: the patrol cars, 4, detective cars, 2 used, also ice machine in the police department, 3 quick response vehicles for the fire department to try to be more effective and efficient there. When you take a $500,000 truck to a scene that you can take 2 people, we'd rather go in a quick response vehicle, an SUV of some type, versus taking a big fire truck. Less likely to wreck it, you get there quicker and more fuel efficient. So looking to transition to that, and 3 vehicles there to go to each station. Also includes 4 self-contained breathing apparatus. We try to buy 4 a year over a period of time to keep those up to meet standards. 2 trucks in public works. Also building repairs at Fire Station 2, the apron there. Police Department, some ADA compliance issues there. And looking to put some money into the aquatic center. If you've been there recently, it's starting to show its age, so we need to go back and invest in some of the things going on there. Also, Parks and Recreation includes a mower for the Greenway. This is, it got a fancy name for it, I don't know, but it does a lot of things. It will help cut the right-of-way back. Also has a brush for sweeping the Greenway after you get stuff on it, and it has all kind of attachments. But I think Morgan has one similar to this, and Kenny's picked this out. We do include a financing package of $365,000 for capital items. And again, we'll look at that as we go forward, but I think it's a good borrowing time where we need to for some of these items. Water sewer capital includes major pressure release valve vault. The Hudson system, we go back and put some valves in there to go back and control the system. Right now, if you have a leak there, you can't shut it off, and it takes a lot of extra time to go back and correct leaks and stuff like that over there. It also includes a new sewer camera replacement and 2 vehicles. And I'll give you a dollar figure on those if you want to know the capital cost for both the general fund and general fund is $664,000 of capital, and for the water fund it's $675,000 of capital in those items I just mentioned. As we always say, our primary goal each and every day via our employee-led customer service initiative is to provide service beyond measure, and we hope to keep doing that. I want to thank Donna Bean. She spent a lot of hours looking at these numbers. Thank the department directors for being flexible and knowing the situation we're in. Team Lenore, and appreciate council taking the time to give us advice over the year to go back and help put this plan together. We have a budget work session planned for Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Also, we mentioned committee of the whole next week if we need to have more time to review this. A public hearing scheduled for June 2nd if you approve a motion tonight to do that at 6 o'clock. And our budget proposal will be online. If not right now, it should be online. It should be online right now, so if you want to go back and peruse it, the public, go to cityoflenore.com/budget proposal. And with that, I'll take any questions, or we can jump into it Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Just one question for clarification. The appropriation of the $400,000 from the general fund?
Fund balance, yes.
That is to assist, when you say it's balanced, with that $400,000 appropriation?
Correct.
Okay, so
I think it's 2.25% of the total budget includes fund balance.
That's, during these times, that's very appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
And we've made plans for that, and thank goodness we did.
I think years of preparation have put us in a good place.
Thank
So,
you.
any other questions?
I think this budget speaks to Scott's leadership and the strength of our department heads to manage the money we do get in. We continue to do more with less. I continue to be impressed by the amount of work we self-perform.
That speaks to our staff.
It does. And,
Very much
but,
so.
But again, you know, it goes back to the top because we're the ones that hold Scott responsible, and he's performed very well with that. And I think you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you. Let me unmute the other folks because they may have bad things to say.
Better not.
Chrissy.
He didn't have the chance to say it, but it is a great job. I mean, I guess after going through this several years and with the COVID, it seems like because we've made those provisions years past that we continue to talk about, we're still looking pretty strong. So that certainly speaks to the Scott's leadership and all the department heads and everybody just put ourselves together to make it a good budget. Good job.
Anyone else with any comments concerning the budget? Thank you again, Scott. Great work with you and your staff. Donna, thank you for the hard work of the financial department, as you always do, and all of our department heads for your great leadership in our city, for finding ways to conserve and make things work and build things within. We are so great at that, and we appreciate all of that. You find ways to do things and make suggestions and do things to save us a lot of time, effort, and money, and it's showing. It's making great progress for us in this wonderful city that we have, of the city of Lenore. So we appreciate that. We got things that I know that are a lot of things that are up in the air right now, but we will continue to monitor that, look at it as it comes in. We'll keep lobbying everything we can to our legislatures and all ways we can to ask for any help that we might can get. Councilmember Perkins and I were talking on the phone today that obviously we hope to help citizens who need some help if they need things if they can't afford to pay things, and obviously we're going to hold back on and try to help them with different ways and look for ways to find ways to help. So we appreciate all the hard work that goes into this budget. Started, like you say, back in the first of the year and kind of got through it, looked great, and then all of a sudden this pandemic hit and things are up in the air, a lot of things that we're not sure about, especially sales taxes and occupancy taxes and so many things that we won't know for some time. But we've made plans, and thank goodness we are where we are with a lot of things that we have that we can work together to move forward. So I think at this time we need to entertain a motion to consider this and then bring it to
Public hearing June 2nd.
June 2nd for the approval of our recommended budget at that time. We have several work times in between that. We will certainly, this coming Thursday, we will be together. If we need it on the Tuesday, the 26th, we'll do that. If we don't, we'll have our regular committee, the whole meeting, and move on from that. So I will ask for a motion from council for June 2nd to be the recommended date of approval of the recommended budget.
That'd be public hearing. Approval may not occur the 2nd. It may be
Excuse
later
me,
in the
public
month.
hearing. Thank you for that. That's what I meant to say, public hearing.
Mayor, I make a motion, we call for a public hearing at the June 2nd meeting to consider the budget.
Thank you. Councilmember Perdue makes a motion that we call for the public hearing for the June 2nd meeting to consider approval of the recommended budget. If no other discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
Yeah, I think that's everyone. Thank you, and that all stands approved, and we appreciate it, and we will look at that as we move forward. Anything else to come before us, Mr. Hildebrand, on your part of it?
I'm through for now, and I think Mr. Rohr has something later. But
Okay, thank you. We'll move on then to any recommendation from our city attorney. Mr. Rohr, anything at this time?
No, just a couple of matters for closed session.
Okay, thank you. And I have a couple of appointments that I would like for you to consider tonight. We brought these up at our May 4th meeting of the council, and tonight we'd like to ask for your reappointment for the Lenore Business Advisory Board, Mr. Mark Transu. Mark does a great job of that, actually serves as the chair of that committee. For the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, Mr. Darrell Lippard. I've spoken with all these, by the way, and they're all very involved and very interested. And for the Foothills Regional Airport Authority, Mr. Charles Thomas. Charles has been on it for a good long time, but he has a great knowledge of their working relationship that our community and Morganton and Burke and Caldwell County have with the Airport Authority. So I'll make these as a recommendation to you for your approval.
I'd like to make a motion to approve all three of the recommendations by our mayor for Lenore Business Advisory Board, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and Foothills Regional Airport.
Okay. Councilmember Stevens makes a motion for the approval of the three reappointments to the boards as mentioned. If no other discussion, I'll call for the question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And that is approved. Thank you unanimously. We appreciate that. We'll move on. Do we have any report of recommendations of any of our council members? We do have one item on here. We'll ask for if there's anything you'd like to say before we get to this alternate delegate situation. Mr., you want to bring that, or do you want me to do it? Okay. The North Carolina League of Municipalities City Vision was, of course, canceled in Wilmington back in May. We were not able to attend that, and now they are going to do a virtual summit meeting on one day, and that is May the 28th, Thursday, May 28th. Be an all-day meeting with the League of Municipalities to discuss its annual business meeting. And certainly we need to have a delegate and an alternate delegate for the City Vision annual business meeting, which I think will occur from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on that day. That'll be that part of the day for that. There'll be a lot of other things going on. I think we haven't gotten a schedule yet, Ben, but I think it's pretty much a full day that we're looking at on that day, and we'll be getting that out later. But we do know the business meeting is from 10 to 12, so I will open that for any nominees for a delegate and alternate delegate for the business meeting and for that virtual meeting of that day. Anyone?
I'm on the board, so I'll be there anyway.
Right, we understand. I will be there myself. I hope everyone else plans to try to
So
be.
can I make a motion for Councilmember Willis to be one of the delegates that he's going to be there?
That would be fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to nominate myself. If anybody else wants to be.
No, that's great. We're glad for you to do it. Okay, so we have a recommendation for
I'll
council.
make that formal. That was a question, but I'll formally make the motion for Councilmember Willis to be the delegate to represent us on City Vision.
Okay, what about an alternate delegate?
Mayor to be the alternate? Chrissy?
Yes, I'd like to make the recommendation for the mayor to be the alternate delegate since he's going to be here also.
Okay. Okay, the motion is that Councilmember Willis will be the delegate, and I will serve as the alternate delegate for the North Carolina League of Municipalities City Vision Virtual Summit Meeting, May the 28th, Thursday, May the 28th. If no other recommendations, I'll call for the question. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. And that sounds unanimous. We appreciate that. So we will do our best. I hope everyone can be a part on that day, be a part of it as much as you can. I know it'll be a long day on these Zoom meetings, and they're already driving us crazy now. So I know it'll be tough to have a longer meeting, but it is important business of the North Carolina League, and we need to do it. They have held it off, I'm sure, as long as they could, and are trying to go ahead and get some things that we need to move forward on at that time. So please try to be a part of that day. They'll let you know as soon as all that comes out. So anything else from any of our council members before we go into a closed session? Nothing else? Then we'll go into a closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11, subsection A, subsection 3. We'll enter into this closed session tonight to consult with our city attorney at that time. So
Make a motion, we go into closed session.
we have a motion to go into closed session from Councilmember Stevens. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. We are in closed session.